Kid, you trust me?
No.
Good.
Are you always this brave?
Guess what? We're doing a review.
Heck
First
yeah.
ever review of the podcast. Or not of the podcast, but in the podcast.
Heck
I
yeah.
botched that like crazy.
Review our own podcast
Yeah.
one day.
Yo,
It's great.
It's great.
You should listen to it.
Patreon.
It's garbage, honestly. It could be better. No.
Dang.
Oh man. But yeah, so we're doing a review. First ever review. So let us know what you think and if you agree with us or not. All right. Welcome everyone to the first ever review episode. This is a shorter episode where we review popular movies. The popular movies we choose to watch, or the popular movie we chose to watch for this episode, I can't say that, was Extraction, Netflix's original Extraction, with Chris Hemsworth.
The man himself.
Yes.
God,
Yeah, so this is a Netflix original film, but definitely stands out in its quality. Like, not like a lot of other
Yeah,
Netflix
bro.
original movies.
That's really so
It's actually really, really, really
good.
good.
It's so good.
But we'll get to that in a second. I have a few questions for you guys. So if you're ready, that will help us determine the question of this movie, which is, can Netflix original films be good?
Yeah.
They're usually
End
not.
of the podcast. All right.
No. Usually Netflix original movies are
Well,
trash.
okay,
Their shows are really good, but their
okay.
movies are not usually not good.
Ritual.
Ritual's good. Here's the thing. When they try to make dramas,
Okay, yeah, no.
like Netflix original drama movies, they're bad. But there's been some pretty decent
Yeah.
Netflix.
I'm not
movies.
necessarily saying that all Netflix original movies are trash. All of the ones that I have seen up until Extraction
an
have not been
example?
that great. So, but yeah, so we're just trying to figure that out because, and this is also just popular belief. People think that Netflix originals are not good, and that subscription service movies are lower quality and not as good as regular movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're just trying to talk about that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, was this movie shot well, like with a camera? What was the quality of the cinematic shots in this film? So it's just kind of talking about like the cinematography in this.
Okay,
what do
well,
you guys
first off,
think?
First off,
Absolutely.
it was great. Because not only, I mean, you got to think, this is produced by the same people who made, like, freaking, feels like half of the MCU movies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all
it
of the
was
really
produced-
good ones.
It was produced and written by the Russo brothers.
Yes.
So
And, dude, I'm telling you right now, there were some shots in that movie. So good, dude.
I will
Like-
say, like,
Yes.
the Avengers movies, like, they had some good shots, like, gorgeous shots even,
Yeah.
but not to that extent.
yeah, I know.
They weren't, like, long, drawn-out, perfectly organized
I mean, yeah,
shots.
don't even get
Yeah.
me wrong. Don't even get me started with a freaking, like, 12-minute, like, no cut. I mean, it's quote-unquote no cut, but it's made to look like one.
It's a continuous shot.
Yeah.
It's a shot that they didn't stop filming basically the whole time for that one shot.
Like a 1917.
Well,
Yes, yeah.
sort of. I mean, if we're being like factual, then like it's made to look like one shot.
No, it is. It's one shot. I have stuff in here that says that. I'll get to it.
That
but
whole
yeah.
thing was one shot.
Yes. They didn't cut. They didn't stop recording. It is one continuous. They handed off the camera to people.
That's so weird to
I'm
me
gonna
because
show.
like
I'm
there
gonna
was
show
some
a couple
scene.
clips in the video version of this of that behind the scene because it's released. Like you can see the way that they did it. And
That's
it's
so weird because I
super
felt like I
cool.
remember seeing so many parts that I was like, "Yep, they cut there." Because the way they made it look so deliberate that it was a cut. Because they would do the whole zoom in on a SWAT person's vest really
Yeah.
close to make it, and then
I mean,
and then move back out of it.
it
to
wasn't
make
like
look
the whole movie was one shot. They definitely had a lot of cuts.
No,
and
I'm
a lot
saying
of
that, but
things.
I mean, I felt like I remember in that scene. I don't know.
Well, so 1917 beat records, right? They beat world records of like the longest continuous shot. This movie didn't beat any records. It came close with their longest one, but not close enough to do much. And they didn't have a lot of continuous shots, but they had a really, really long one, which was really, a really, really good long one. And then they had a couple, in and out throughout the movie. So, so you guys would say that this movie was shot well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the acting in this movie? were there any bad actors, or was there any bad acting in this movie at all?
No, I mean, no one stands out to me at all. Like I all of the characters.
I can hear the gears in his brain ticking. He's like,
The inner machinations of
My mind are an enigma.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
But I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't. Like
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth was obviously great.
yeah,
I don't know the actor's name, but Hopper from
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
yeah.
I don't remember his name in real life,
He
but
was good.
he was really good in that.
He
I
wasn't
mean, he
in it
wasn't
that
in that
long.
much. He wasn't in it much, but he was still really good.
I love that while we were watching it, we obviously didn't see that trailer because he's in the trailer, but none of us knew that he was in this, and we were all like, "Is that Hopper?
Is that Hopper?" And
The
I was
whole
like, "Oh,
time.
it's Hopper."
And then finally, when it got to it, we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's Hopper!" It was great.
That was awesome.
But what do you think, Brandon?
I mean, none of them had really bad acting to me.
Yeah,
It's just all of them were just better than that one female character that
Yeah.
showed up. I mean, she had an important role. Like she,
You mean the one that shot down that helicopter with the RPG?
yes,
that
yes,
woman.
that one. She
Yeah.
just wasn't as good as the others. She wasn't
Sure.
bad, just not.
right.
I feel like
that
she was very
far.
one-dimensional, and she didn't
Yeah.
have much emotion at all.
She was definitely just there to continue the
It
thing.
might have just been
yeah.
like the writer's fault, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's but it wasn't bad. Like
No,
to
not at
answer
all.
this question, how was the acting in this movie? It was great overall.
Really good.
Like
Really good.
it was not bad. Other than her, it was almost perfect as far as acting goes because the kids, all the kids that were involved, you'd be surprised. I mean, kid actors suck normally,
That guy was pretty good.
but that kid was awesome. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It was really good.
I really
and
liked
then all
him.
the other people, yeah, it was definitely really really well acted. How was the story and plot of this movie?
It's
and-
simple.
Just a fair warning, just in case. I'm not saying we're going to try not to, but just in case we do, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
But plot,
It's your warning.
how was it?
Okay, so it's simple. I mean, but here's my thing. I've never been one to like. What?
He said it's simple, and all I wanted to say was we killed the Batman's grandma.
Yes.
As a wink to our Batman trilogy that we did.
Oh my gosh.
not even like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, right.
But with me, it's like I've never been a person to think that having convoluted stories means something's better. Like
Yeah.
having a simple story. For example, I know it's not a movie, but I take this stance with this game. It's called The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's literally just two people going cross country to get this vaccine.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing special. It's not a convoluted plot line. It's nothing like that. But it's my favorite game of all
Yeah.
time.
And I
And-
mean they run into things. It's a good
They
game
run in-
and then
Yeah, and it's a good game. But here's
Yeah.
the thing.
it's a simple idea.
I can add
Yeah.
to that. Why do you think Logan did so well?
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Like, there's a point where people are
And
kind of
God
like,
of War.
I'm not
And God of
following.
War.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a point where people are like, I'm not following this. Like, I don't.
Right.
It's so convoluted that you're just like,
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this movie. It's simple, but it's so effective because you care about the people.
hmm
So you don't necessarily have to have the story make up for the acting or like how the characters are written. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to have all of this extra crap to make up for boring characters.
Yeah.
You know, the characters
Yeah.
themselves are what makes the story good.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
it does. So that's why it doesn't
I
matter
mean-
if it's.
It was written by the Russo brothers, so
True.
you can't really. I mean,
I love them, bro. They're so good.
Avengers or Marvel in general, freaking and they did amazing with that, obviously. But they also are really good. They're just great writers because they did amazing in Community, in the show Community. Like I don't know if you've seen
They
that show or
made
not.
that?
Yeah, they directed that.
I haven't seen it, but you talk about it a lot.
I'm pretty sure they directed all of the episodes,
Dang.
or
Okay.
maybe most of them. I could be wrong.
The Russo
Could be
brothers are lit, man.
But I know that they're involved with that show, and I know that a lot of the Avengers actors, like Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., they all have appeared in that show too. So
cool.
yeah. But yeah, that show is really really funny, especially if you attend a community college like I do. So, but yeah, that is. I agree. Like the Russo brothers are just great writers, and this movie specifically was written very very well. Like the story, the plot. I can't think of any plot holes. You know what I mean? I can't think of anything.
That's what I
that
love
would-
about
that
a
would-
simple
whatever.
story.
Right.
It's very hard to have.
Exactly.
You can't
plot
really botch
holes.
it up, you know?
Yeah, that's why I would like in-game and stuff that had so much
as
going
soon,
on.
As soon as you introduce time travel, it's over.
yes,
it's
there's
over.
you can try to make it as
It
plot
doesn't matter.
hole-less as
It
possible,
doesn't
but
matter.
you can't.
It doesn't
you just
matter.
can't do it.
Yep.
Like people will always find some like
Yep.
nitpick
Yep.
to be like, well, that doesn't really make sense.
Don't be dissing on Endgame like that.
Hey, I'm not dissing on it. I'm saying it's just it. No matter how hard you try, and I'm not gonna lie, Endgame probably did the most respectable
Yeah.
like time travel
I
plot
agree.
that still made sense and didn't have very many plot holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was great, but I don't know. Introducing time travel, there's so many variables that come
Yeah.
with that you're like, it's so easy to make a plot hole with that kind of thing. So,
Yep. No,
But-
I agree.
but yeah,
I don't know. What do you think,
I don't-
Brandon?
Like whole time travel thing aside,
Yeah.
going to your previous point,
Mhm.
that's why Joker is my current favorite film. It's because
Yeah.
I
a
love
very,
Joker,
very,
bro.
Very
Yes.
simple story.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just one guy losing his mind,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
they just build around it.
Yeah.
And you can't
Yes.
have any plot holes that way.
Right.
That's what I.
It's not
Right.
connected to Batman or the other tangled mess that's out there.
It's so
that's all it is.
true.
Yeah.
That's why I love the Joker so much. Like,
You could watch that movie and have no idea who Batman, what Batman is, anything about the DC world. You could be living under a rock up until that you see that movie, and you'd still love it. Like you would still get this, amazing story about a guy who's losing his mind.
Unfortunately, this isn't a Joker review, but
I know, right?
as cool as that would be,
Maybe as a one-off, maybe
Yeah,
we'll see.
that'd be cool.
But anyway, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. This movie was the plot was amazing. So, if you love this movie, which I know we all pretty much really really enjoyed this movie, why would you recommend it to other people?
especially if you like John Wick.
Yes,
I cannot
yes,
stress this enough. How good the action was in this movie.
yes.
Mhm.
The choreography was amazing.
so good.
Yes.
So good.
Like everyone says, like for a movie like this, you'll be like on the edge of your seat, but
hmm
I think you probably will be like with your hands on your knees. It's like, come on.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I
It's
was.
tense.
I was like on the edge of my seat, just kind of like sitting over. I was like, "What is he about to do? What is about to happen?" Man, it was so good. Yeah,
A lot
the
of
action
things
was
that, like,
amazing.
actually were really unexpected. Like spoiler alert: the guy throwing the kid off the roof, or like, whoa.
Yes, I was, not.
shocked. I was in disbelief. I saw him do it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna throw the."
Oh,
He actually did it. You're like, yeah, it's this kind of movie.
It's like, "Oh my gosh, this is
Dude.
awesome!"
That's what I love too. It's like with the whole John Wick thing. It's so bad at this point because
I don't
everybody.
hate kids, by the way. That was
Oh,
just a
yeah,
joke.
I know. But for me, I'm like, people will literally try to, like, if there's a tiny little bit of even like some decent action, they're like, this is like John Wick. Like,
Yeah.
I hate it.
What was that
because
movie that they compared to John Wick that was not even
Birds of
remotely?
Prey.
Birds of Prey.
Oh
I
my
love that you got that
God.
faster than I did. I was literally about to say
so
it. But
stupid.
The
Don't get me
review said
wrong.
It's got the comedy of Deadpool and the action of John Wick. I was like,
Wrong.
That's too good to be true.
I'm not
Wrong.
gonna lie.
And it wasn't.
Now, don't get me wrong. The action was good.
Yes.
I thought there
Yeah,
were a
no, it
lot
was
of scenes
great.
in there that I was like, "Wow, this is
That
actually
movie
pretty
was
good."
way better than its preceding or
Yes.
no, not preceding. Its previous movie.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, don't compare something like that to John Wick.
Yes.
John Wick is way higher up in the tiers.
When I think of
good
John
quality.
Wick, I think of action with guns. That's what I think of, like a lot of gun action
Yeah.
type, and
Not
having
just
like
gun action, but like gun action with it's gunjitsu basically.
That's what I'm
It's
saying, gun
guns
fu.
with.
that's what
punching
I'm
and
saying when I
stuff,
think
all
of
in the
that.
same,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's what I think of when I think of John Wick
Not
action.
using a mallet or a bat.
I think
Exactly.
I think people like always compare action movies to John Wick because John Wick is just like the pinnacle,
Yes.
like the top tier like action anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. It's very true.
It's like that's what your mind goes to with
Yeah.
a good action movie.
Yep. All right. Let me do this small fact real quick. Directed by Sam Hargrave. I've never heard of him before up until now. And written
What's
by
my
Joe and
man?
Anthony Russo.
Love that dude.
Extraction was Netflix's highest streamed film of the year so far by having reached 90,000 households in the opening week.
Dang.
Dang.
Okay.
I will say, though, it was very well advertised. Like, it was everywhere before it came out. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of
Netflix.
had it
They
on their
got
minds. I know, right?
so much money.
That's how they got Stranger Things all up in there too.
Oh yeah, you know Stranger Things.
But
They're like golden calf.
I couldn't find the budget for this one specifically, but this could be wrong. So very much take this with a grain of salt. But the understanding and the basic, from the history of Netflix original movies, their budgets are lower than normal movies, right? And I'm not talking about Marvel because Marvel budgets are ridiculous. But like even, I don't want to throw out numbers because I'm not 100% certain. But I know like you would think that movie budgets are in like the 100 or like the millions, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars budget was like 45 million or something like that, right? For the episode 4, like George Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah, these Netflix original movies are usually really, really low budget.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this movie, if we're going off of history, again, this could be completely wrong, but if we're going off of history, this movie having a lower budget than normal movies, did that affect that movie at all? Because I don't think it did.
no.
I feel like that budget, the director, what was his name? Sam Hargrave used that budget amazingly and came out with an amazing film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did, honestly.
I mean, everything
mean-
in it was great. It looked great.
It didn't look like, when I watched that, I didn't think of it as a low budget movie. It didn't really look like a Netflix original film. Like I would have gone to the movie theater to see that. I would love to see that in a movie theater. Could you imagine? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's movie theater quality.
right.
I mean,
Right.
with like an A-list like Chris Hemsworth in the lead role.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I would think that would be
I
a movie
mean,
theater.
him alone is probably in the millions. Just having him in it,
Yeah.
like his budget. But anyway, so yeah, it's just one of those things. Again, I could be completely wrong, but previous, Netflix original films usually have a lower budget. So, but that's the whole thing. So, to answer the question, Netflix original movies, can they be good? I would say this movie has proven that they can. And I know you were kind of like, oh, they're all good or whatever.
No,
you were
I didn't
kinda-
say that.
You're like, hold on a second.
A lot of them are, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The popular belief is that they're not. But I would say that if they keep making them like this, and I'm not saying they all have to be action. I'm not saying they all have to have Chris Hemsworth or a famous actor in it. But if they are made at this level of quality, of investment, of whatever the case is, to compare it to this movie, if they can make them like this, I feel like Netflix can be very successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that, and then that their Netflix original films can definitely get better. Because this one blew me out of the park, man. I was surprised. This movie was amazing. But in case you haven't seen it, I'm going to do a brief story synopsis. And if you have seen it, this is kind of like a review. In an underworld of weapon dealers and traffickers, a young boy becomes the pawn in a war between notorious drug lords. Trapped by kidnappers inside one of the world's most impenetrable cities, his rescue beckons an unparalleled skill of a mercenary named Tyler Rake. But Rake is a broken man with nothing to lose, harboring a death wish that makes an already deadly mission near impossible. So I thought that description was pretty good. And again, that was from IMDb. So like, whoa, all right.
Not
I didn't
bad.
know you guys did those for Netflix original films, but apparently they do. And then I put a couple fun facts about it that I was like, dang, really? Like I was saying earlier, the longest single take action sequence in this film lasts exactly 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, so it was almost 12 minutes.
Yep.
Dang.
Yep. And it was one continuous shot the whole time. So, and I'll show stuff about it. This was director Sam Hargrave's directorial debut. He was a stunt double for Chris Evans' Captain America, then eventually the go-to-fight choreographer for Marvel and the MCU.
Dang.
So
Guys
he
going
was
places.
he was the director of this movie was Captain America's stunt double. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, I know that guy.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, he was Captain America's stunt double, and then after that, he was the MCU and Marvel's like choreographer for everything. So that's probably why this movie was so well choreographed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis were attached as leads to this project at one point.
You say Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to work with him.
Nope.
Yeah.
No one likes him.
But yeah, it was. I thought that was pretty. I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Could you imagine if he was the main character? That would have sucked.
I would have been like, no, I'm
been
good.
real bad.
He's not great. I mean, he's not horrible, but
Yeah.
you know, Bruce Willis.
He's not what he used to be.
not what he used to be. Die Hard.
Was
great
he
film.
ever? Was he ever a
Die
good
Hard.
actor though?
Classic.
Are we talking about Bruce Willis? Yeah.
Well, now you're talking about
yeah.
Bruce
Willis was good. I was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think he was ever really a good actor. My opinion. He was a great California governor, though. That's my impression, and it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what was that.
I mean, all our impressions are
I'll be
horrible.
back. You're right. Yeah, so that's all, everyone. Thanks for listening. And be sure to follow the Talk This Way podcast on Instagram page. And subscribe to the Talk This Way YouTube channel. If you guys could rate this movie 1 out of 100 throwing kids off the side of a building, how many would it be?
100 throwing kids off the side of the building.
Man,
Out
I
of
throw
100.
so many kids off of this building.
You would throw 100 kids off the side of a building for this movie.
To watch it again? Yeah.
I already did. What do you mean?
He's like, I've seen this movie 4 times.
This movie 4 times. That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
But yes,
Horrible.
basically 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I loved everything about this movie.
Not my favorite movie, but yes, I agree. I would give this a 100 too. It was. I mean, again, it was up there with John Wick. John Wick is my favorite movie. I would give that a 100 out of 100 any day. And that is my favorite movie. And this comes close enough to that I would give it a 100 for sure.
Yeah.
But
I understand a lot of the scenes were essential, and
Yeah.
the one that comes to mind for me is the only scene with David Harbour. A lot of that felt kind of dry to me.
yeah,
Like, especially like the in between takes. And I'm like, all right, this is nice, but I kind of want to move on now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know it's
agree.
essential, but you know what I mean.
I
So,
agree.
I get that, actually.
Honestly, though, you could take that scene. Just puts really hits home the fact that Chris Hemsworth's character Tyler lost his son and wants a son and
Oh,
cares
no.
more for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? But I agree. Like, if you took that scene out, it wouldn't really affect the plot. It would just affect your
okay, if
own
you-
opinion on
if you took
Tyler.
that part of that scene out, where he's talking
Yeah,
about
that's
his
true.
wife and son, that
Yeah.
whole scene would be so dry and pointless to me.
Yes, yes.
It'd be very
So-
pointless.
So leave
with
that,
that said-
part in, but take everything else out.
With that said,
Yes.
90.
90. Okay.
90 kids off of this building.
I like that.
I like that. That sounds great. Oh my God.
I'm trying to put more thought into these because there's like
I know.
100. Absolutely.
Oh, well, I mean, I freaking love it, bro. I mean, I
I'm
just
not
love
shitting on you or anything.
No. I love dumb action movies, and this isn't dumb, but it's just like I like
Yeah.
films where I don't
Yeah.
have to think a lot. I'm just like, there's movies where I'm just like, I just want
But
to
it
sit.
makes you think.
Especially at the end. But we're not going to spoil it. So
Go watch the movie.
go watch the
It's
movie.
free on Netflix. It's not free if you don't have
free.
Netflix though. So
It's free if you already pay for Netflix.
it's free if you already pay
Oh, no,
$11 a
still
month for
it's,
Netflix.
it's free with a small purchase of Netflix.
It's free if your parents pay for Netflix.
There you go. That's the answer.
Or just hack into someone else's Netflix account and use that.
And it's free on all angles.
I wish it was
Yes.
like Disney Plus, where you can literally give your account to anybody, and it doesn't matter how many screens you have.
Is that even a thing anymore?
Yeah.
Still?
Yes.
I'm surprised Disney hasn't just nipped that in the bud. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Disney does not seem like the type of person to be
Literally-
like, oh, we're going to keep this going.
There's a channel or whatever you want to call it, a person I follow on TikTok that did that, and he's got he's got so many profiles.
You think they would have a limit
I
how many
know.
profiles you could make?
It's so funny.
That's stupid.
God, where is mine?
It's
Why
gone.
is everybody Kylo Ren profile?
It's true.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. So yeah, thank you. Be sure to go watch that movie and follow us on Instagram and YouTube. So, all right. See ya.
See ya.
Oh.
He actually did it.